Hey, yo, you, what up, y'all? How'd it be? How'd it be? How'd it? Yeah, this is just a recap. I wanted to do this like earlier in the day just to kind of follow the similar format that I've done with my live streams in regards to the Sigma topic. Most of them were done in the afternoon, and there are some things I got to do. I got a few things that I got to do later on today, so let me get this one out the way. So yeah, had to kind of do some in the afternoon. Hey, what's good, Brown? Do life? We back in it again. We back in it again. Let me put this microphone on and let me see something here. Hey, yo. What up? What up? What up? Uh yeah, let me get this microphone. I normally put my microphone on like high volume. So that kind of explains some of the muffling noise, like when y'all hear me talk and it sounds a little raspy in the background. But I figured I'd rather have a high volume microphone, and it's cheap, by the way. This is a cheap microphone, but I'd rather it be high volume to where you can just turn down the volume on your device versus me having a low volume microphone and you can barely hear me on your device. Uh, I'm gonna try to turn this down a tad bit more. Hopefully, I'm trying to just turn it down just enough to where I don't sound too loud on the microphone. Because I know with these cheap microphones, with the way they sound, they be sounding very cheap, especially when they're loud. You asked me, Brown Do Life. You said, what time does your next live stream start? To be honest with you, Brown Do Life, I think I'm gonna do that live stream probably. I might do that tomorrow night instead of tonight, like I had planned at first, just because I got a few things I gotta do, and I don't know how long it's gonna last, so I don't want to be rushing, but it is definitely on the way. I'll post it when I get a chance, cause yeah, there's still a lot to talk about with the previous live stream that I had in mind. So look forward to that, fam. It is on the way. Cooking nice and slow in the oven for sure. Yes, indeed. But yeah, let's talk about. Let me try to give me a second, y'all. 1 second. All right, I'm back, y'all. I'm back. Okay. Let's get on into today's topic, shall we? Uh, Really, the reason why I call this live stream a recap, the reason why this Sigma Identity Crisis live stream is a recap is, yeah, it's similar to the other live streams. There were some times when the previous live streams had a few glitches in them, and so I just kind of wanted to follow up with a glitch free live stream. Now, for those listening to this on the replay, just go into my playlist section and look for the playlist titled Live Streams from Yours Truly. And you'll see the previous live stream to this one titled Sigma Identity Crisis. And I did that live stream with Black Ram 313. So, there's some good things that were in that live stream. However, however, it did have some glitches. So this live stream is just following up from that. Plus, um, I did a live stream with other content creators that were talking about their idea of what Sigma is. And, a lot of basically a lot of those live streams had glitches. Even my reloaded live stream about the same topic. So, uh, this live stream should be glitch free for sure. Brown Do Life said, some YouTubers say Sigma males don't exist. Yeah, little do they know. Sigma males do exist. However, it's not based on the popular narrative like we do be hearing about Sigma. That's the only thing I be wanting to re-educate people about. So hopefully with my content, I've done that so far. You've kind of seen where I'm coming from in regards to what Sigma means to me. Of course, Sigma does not represent yours truly. No, Sigma does not. But I understand enough of it considering that I used to associate or affiliate myself with the idea of Sigma. But no, for someone to say that Sigma doesn't exist, that's not true. But it is not in the way that you like to hear with the popular narrative. So, uh, but yeah, I did my previous live stream with a content creator that believes in becoming a Sigma. Yet there are content creators who believe that a Sigma can only be born, as I used to believe about Sigma myself. And I try to contact those other content creators who believe as I used to believe, but none of them replied to me except Black Ram. So that's why I was able to do that live stream initially about Sigma Identity Crisis with Black Ram. Now, I ended up doing a follow-up live stream with another content creator, thankfully. You know what I'm saying? I did that live stream as well. And it was with a content creator named Slayer Sigma. And it was a good live stream. But I had to, pretty much kind of not keep that live stream up because it didn't have it also had issues. So I kept the one up with Black Ram nevertheless, because Black Ram specifically said keep it up. Because he's going to try to splice it, slice and dice it, and maybe put parts of our live stream on his Patreon. He'll put parts of it on his Patreon page. So I was like, okay, cool. I'll keep the live stream up for you, Black Ram, for that reason alone. So it's still getting some views, but not as many views as I would like. And I think it has a lot to do with the glitches. But nevertheless, it's kind of cool because, from my perspective, Sigma should not be for everybody. But yet you got a lot of these everybody's who now all of a sudden say that they're Sigma. But nevertheless, I can understand how that's the case too, given what I've stated about what Sigma actually is. Sigma is feral. Sigma is not lone wolf. So yes, lone wolf and Sigma are not the same, as I've always been saying lately. In one of Black Ram's Sigma videos that he did, he expressed that there is a weakness amongst certain personalities. I personally don't think there's a weakness amongst personalities. I think that there's just things that haven't been discovered. People just weaken themselves, for the lack of better words. And I must reiterate that Sigma is feral. Therefore, feral creatures are solitary by nurture instead of solitary by nature. A lone alpha or an alpha wolf? No such thing. A Sigma lone wolf? No such thing. There's no such thing. And it was cool because like with Slayer Sigma, he even pointed out that, in his day-to-day life as being a Sigma, he doesn't really say the term lone wolf. That's just something that's been accepted over time, because when people came out with this idea that at one point there was a such thing as an alpha wolf, they would consider that aspect of wolves having a hierarchy. And so the lone wolf per se leaves that hierarchy, but that's been long confirmed that the wolves actually don't have a hierarchy. There's no such thing as an alpha wolf. In the wolf pack, they co-dominate. There's not like one wolf in charge. And thus when a wolf leaves a pack as the lone wolf per se, he's just leaving the pack, but he wasn't kicked out the pack. He wasn't leaving that pack because, oh, it's a hierarchical pack and I need to leave the pack. No, that pack was a family and he got old enough to leave the family. Okay? I am sweet. Hey, what up, fam? What up, sweetie? Good to see you. Hey, I just told Brown Do Life I'm actually probably reschedule the live for tomorrow night around 8 p.m. I just got a lot to do tonight, but I'll give you a hint. If I don't end up as busy as I think I'm gonna be this evening, I might do that follow-up live stream around 10 p.m. Central Standard Time tonight. That's if I don't end up as busy as I said I was going to be. But otherwise, yeah, I'm gonna do a follow-up live stream to what I did yesterday, given the date of this live stream. I'll do a follow-up tomorrow night at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, like I normally do. What Brown do life say? What do you think of people saying that Sigma is beta in denial? There's a lot of truth to that, Brown do life. Most Sigmas are, because most Sigmas are betas, or they were betas. But the idea of beta in denial is that one denies their beta tendencies or their beta origins. Like, you have some Sigmas who don't deny it though. So obviously those type of Sigmas are not betas in denial. They were once beta and they admit that they were once beta because, you know, they were under that hierarchy and they wanted to leave that hierarchy. So they decided to adapt to this idea of what being Sigma is. And the reason why I know Sigma is feral, because that's what feral animals do. Feral animals, they leave households. Feral animals leave hierarchies, okay? And so Sigmas leave households, Sigmas leave societies, Sigmas leave hierarchies. Simple as that. But the unique thing about wolves is they were never born into a hierarchy. They were born into a family. So I see wolves, I see the idea of a wolf as separate from all this talk of alpha, beta, sigma, gamma, omega. A wolf has nothing to do with that. What we be seeing with these different labels is what we've learned from dog culture, not wolf culture. You know, because the wolves actually did civilize humanity. A lot of people don't know that about wolves. However, as humanity evolved, they started to bring up dogs. Now, some wolves did get domesticated and mixed with dogs. Wolves and dogs are not the same, people, but some wolves can mix with dogs, with some dogs. But ideally, the modern dog is just descended from another dog, not from another wolf. Okay. But here's the other thing. I must, like I said, I must reiterate, Sigma is feral, and I talked about this. Yeah, the difference. Let me just rephrase what I was saying. Sigma is feral, therefore they're solitary by nurture instead of solitary by nature. Lone wolf or alpha wolf, no such thing. Sigma lone wolf, no such thing. Maybe one could argue this was once true, but not anymore. Then, you know what I'm saying, I could come back and just say there was never a such thing as that all being associated, Sigma and lone wolf. It was never a thing. You know, one could say once before or not anymore. No, no, no. To me, there was never such thing as Sigma and lone wolf being one and the same. Never. Sigma is now feral. And from my perspective, Sigma has always been feral and will eventually be recognized as feral, given that I've talked to content creators like Slayer Sigma who also see it that same way, you know. Uh, and this people misunderstand some things. Stray and feral are not the same either, okay? A feral represents Sigma. So guess what a stray represents? It represents someone that's a gamma. You know, people talk about the gamma male, but they don't understand what gamma really represents. Okay. Gamma represents stray. Okay. And Sigma definitely represents feral. Some people have tried to down talk Omegas. Omegas do not represent stray, feral, the bottom of the totem pole, none of that. Omegas are your herders. They're not leaders, but they are herders. When you think of Omega, think of the sheepdog, you know, when you think of Omega. And so I've reached out to a few Omegas that really understand Omega. And they respect a lot of what I have to say. I think a lot of them are looking forward to a continuation of a video that I did before, originally talking about Omega males. But see, you know, Wolves are loners by nature, not feral. A feral wolf is very rare and unnatural. Hunters refer to those type of wolves as rogue wolves, not lone wolves. So when you see a hunter, a real hunter, we're not talking about these guys just going out to shoot for fun. We're talking about real hunters that go out and they have to shoot down a wolf. It's not a lone wolf. Lone wolves are usually tracked, and they usually have a recognizable. Uh, they usually have a recognizable range that they wander in. You know, lone wolves kind of have their own little range. Like wolves, when they're in the pack structure, they do have their territories. Okay, because that's their family. A family's just protecting their house. But when that one young wolf, he becomes a lone wolf, if you will, and but you know, wolves are loners by nature. But nevertheless, he decides to go his separate way from his family to try to build his own pack. That lone wolf usually has his own range that he stays within. You know, he respects other territories, and he doesn't wander too far off into a lot of unfamiliar places. Every place that that lone wolf has surveyed or places he's familiar with, he watches out for dangerous situations. But the rogue wolf, however, you know, one of these rogue wolves, they don't think about that. And those are the ones that get shot by the hunters or by the farmers. Okay. These rogue wolves usually occur in a lot of different ways. Okay. Um, Sometimes a rogue wolf, if you will, was rogue to his family. So he got kicked out of his family. So if you want to talk about this idea of the wolf being kicked out from the pack, it's not the lone wolf. It's the rogue wolf, the wolf that went rogue against his own family. Okay. So yes, just as I say, lone wolf and Sigma are not the same, rogue wolf and lone wolf are not the same. And I guess to that point, the only thing Sigma can relate to is a rogue wolf, not a lone wolf. Okay. But to me, that's still not a good look. If I was anything Sigma, feral to me is feral, you know? But for some, they might see this act of being rogue as part of their mindset of being feral. But I've always seen Sigma as more of a rebel than a rogue. You know, a rogue, you just running around with no sense. As a rebel, you got some sense. And yes, a rebel with no cause actually isn't a rebel at all. Yes, a rebel with no cause isn't a rebel at all, in my opinion. You're just a rogue. Okay. Just like the rogue wolf. Now, another idea of a rogue wolf to me, besides one that literally got kicked out from his family or his pack, you have wolves that grow up, you know, they were tamed. They weren't necessarily domesticated by humans, but they were tamed by humans, but they still find ways to escape. Now, some wolves still are very wolf-like, if you will. So they might end up roaming, and they're not technically, even in that case, a rogue wolf. They're a lone wolf just trying to find another pack to be amongst. Okay. But you have some wolves who do escape households. They don't look for packs because they probably never even known what it was like to be around another wolf. So he's just going to go around and do what he does until he gets shot by somebody. Okay. So I guess just to state one more time, hunters shoot down rogue wolves, not lone wolves. There actually is a big fine for a hunter if he accidentally shoots down a lone wolf. Real talk. Um, Now, there's no such thing as an alpha male wolf because there's really no such thing as a hierarchy within a wolf pack, as I stated earlier. You know, you get, as I also stated earlier, this idea of a wolf pack being co-dominant. There's no sole dominant wolf. Hierarchies that exist amongst the canines, they come from dogs, not wolves. 1 second, y'all. Okay, had to deal with 12 passing by. But we know we talk about wolves and wolf packs. That's because of the gray wolf. But the gray wolves are their relatives, because you got also the Arctic wolf that's related. You got the Alaskan gray wolf that's related to the timber wolf, which is also the standard gray wolf, if you will. The timber wolves per se, or the standard gray wolf, the timber wolves, which are considered the standard gray wolves, they live usually in the Minnesota or Yellowstone area. Now, actually, the Yellowstone wolves are a combination of the Canadian wolves and the Minnesota timber wolves, literally. No pun intended when I say that, you know. But yeah, they're a combination of the timber wolves and the Canadian wolves, the Yellowstone wolves per se. Uh, but all this, they're the only type of wolves that have a pack. But most wolves around the world are very solitary. They don't roam in packs. And the wolves that are in packs, they were all just solitary animals that decided to come together as a pack to rear up pups. Because what? One female wolf can give birth to a lot of pups. There you go. So you need a few wolves to raise up a few wolves. It is what it is. So who knows? Maybe this idea that it takes a village to raise a child could be traced back to one studying the lifestyle of a wolf. Who knows? Hey, long time no see. Good to see you back up in the building again, for hire. But yeah, just think about it this way also, y'all, because you know they talk about this idea with Sigma of one that refuses the hierarchy, you know. But think about it this way: refusing the hierarchy versus never being like the social hierarchy. That's also equal to antisocial versus solitary. Now, never being like the hierarchy is basically representing an animal or an individual that's solitary. Refusing the hierarchy is represented as an animal or an individual that is antisocial. Wolves are solitary, not antisocial, unless it was a rogue wolf for some reason. And wolves don't have a social hierarchy. They have families. I must reiterate that at least one more time. To me, Sigma represents beta in denial and admittance. So kind of similar to what Brown Do Life said earlier about Sigmas being in denial, but also to me, most Sigmas represent betas in denial and admittance. There's only a few Sigmas that are not in denial of their beta traits, and they're also in admittance of their beta traits. But obviously what makes them Sigma or made them become Sigma is that they wanted to live a life not necessarily being confined to their beta traits, or basically whatever made them beta. They're trying to not be that beta type of person. And so the only way is to kind of go on your own and do your own thing and try to figure this out yourself. Okay. And that's no different than an animal that's feral. Animal that is feral does the same thing, you know. Now, when I mentioned omega males earlier, omega males to me, they end up finding their way. They're not really one that went their separate way. You know what I mean? Someone that is part of the omega male frame, I would say it's similar. I see most omega males, and I'll have to talk about this, but I won't talk about this much. You'll deal with someone that's like an omega male that probably was like the only child. So he grew up by himself, you know? So him finding his way is very unique versus someone that decided to go their separate way. And whereas like a gamma male remains undercover, you know, because he's a stray, versus a sigma that is a feral. Okay. So he remains undercover. You don't really hear much about a gamma male. He kind of keeps a lot of his thoughts to himself. He's not really that vocal. He's not really out here in the public speaking too much. He's more introvert than any introvert. I'd say the gamma is the most introvert in many ways. But in many ways also, sigma is the personality melting pot, given that you know how you can become a sigma. It doesn't matter what your background is. You just gravitate to this idea of being on your own, even though at one point you probably weren't, but you find a way to make it, you know. I think the gamma male just finds ways to get by, but the sigma finds ways to actually make it. Okay. But that's the personality melting pot. So even someone that's a gamma could actually become a sigma. Okay. I believe that. So, uh, oh, it's good to see you up in the building, Nicola J. Good to see you up in the building. Now, continuing on, to me, wolves are very enigmatic. Okay. Enigmatic, if you look it up, it just means something or someone that's very mysterious, hard for you to figure them out. They're like a riddle. When they talk, it's in riddles, or when they communicate, it's just kind of hard to decipher. Okay. But this comes naturally for this animal or individual. That's the whole idea of being enigmatic. And I've brought that up already in many ways. Okay. And so this is no different than wolves. Okay. And some people are enigmatic like those wolves. Basically, some people are enigmas. They're not sigmas. Another word associated with enigmatic is angelic. And another thing associated with enigmatic is INFJ, the world's rarest personality type. So to me, the truest of the truest, those that represent this idea of being a wolf or lone wolf per se, they're very angelic. They're very rare individuals. You're not going to see many individuals. Yeah, and that's the other thing. I feel you. I am sweet. There are a lot of different labels out here, you know. And yes, I feel you, Brown Dude. A lot. I feel you too, as well, Brown Dude Life. It's better to live. It's better to live life. You said without really thinking about the labels so much. But you know, this has become the norm. You know, this is kind of society's way of how it's evolving. And so to me, this idea of one that is an enigma, someone that's enigmatic, is one that is actually free of a label. When you say someone is an enigma, it's not that you're really saying that's what they are. You're just describing the way that they are. You know what I'm saying? You're describing the way that they are versus saying that's who they are. Because, you know, think about it. How many people in this world you really see as an enigma? Not many. This type of person is an anomaly. This type of person you don't see every day. So you think about those who do label themselves, well, they just represent the evolution of society. Whereas someone that's truly an enigma just represents the mysteries of not only society, but humanity, you know? So I can see the idea of being an enigma because there are people out there that are mysterious like that. But for all these other labels, these are things that we've developed over time because of how society has developed. So I guess even if one doesn't like the labels, well, we label a truck sometimes a Ford F-150, you know? So I guess it's just kind of the way life is, you know? It's the way life is, you know, for some people. Not all, obviously. Some people refuse to live by labels, and some things are so enigmatic that you can't even label. Hint, hint. Now, living outside of the civilization, since we talk about civilizations, this has existed for eons because some people were born outside of civilizations. They didn't end up living outside of civilizations. So, yes, I guess with those who have the Sigma personality per se, or this Sigma way of life, if you want to call it that, some of them ended up living outside of civilizations. But you have some who were always like that. This is just who they are. And as a matter of fact, these type of people know how to live in and out of civilization. They know how to go in between societies. Now, some say that the Sigma does the same thing, but see, no, the Sigma is actually the thing with the Sigma is that he blends his way out. And whereas someone that's enigmatic knows how to blend their way in, if you will, you know. So keep that in mind. Now, let's see what else people say here in the chat section. For Haya said, my parents always got on my case for being weird. I feel you. I feel you. And Brown Do Life said, You should check out The Beta Male Revolution by Alan Roger Curry. No man wants to be in a beta position, especially when it comes to relationships with women. Well, you think about the book that Alan Roger Curry made, but then you really also think about reality. So it's like a little bit of what he said in the book, and also you got to incorporate reality. We got to, give him our female woman logic. A lot of females like betas, and a lot of them actually don't see anything wrong with betas. Now, a woman doesn't want a beta, of course, but we're living in a society where there aren't a lot of the feminine gender that represent what a real woman is, and they actually don't want a man who's, I guess, not a beta. If you're greater than a beta, she gonna hate you. You know what I'm saying? She ain't gonna, because she actually wants to control a man. She wants to rule a man instead of letting a man just be a man. We got in these situations where we be like, yo, I can't even be a man around Shouty. That's because she prefers a beta. So, so despite, what Alan Roger Curry wrote, it's true what he's saying, but there's also other elements to it based on how things have changed since he wrote that book about the beta male revolution. Let me see this. Hey, what's good, Cortez Smith? Good to see you up in the building once again, fam. Let me see this. You said also the beta is supposed to be the average man. Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. I mean, a lot of these females that aren't women, they want average men. They actually do. We got this whole misconception of what type of man a lot of them want. A lot of them want average. Okay, they don't want a dude that's like more than that. You know what I'm saying? No, it's not bad in nature. I feel you, Cortez Smith. It's not bad in nature. It is part of the process. But however, with the feminine genders in this today's society, they want that to always be. So that's where it kind of becomes unnatural. Because a man naturally shouldn't remain beta. You know what I'm saying? He shouldn't remain beta. That should be all part of the process. Let me see. Let me continue on. But yeah, I guess with the idea of alpha male, because alpha represents leader. So we've had a lot of leaders. I mean, go back. You see, you had Caesar. I mean, the list goes on. I mean, Genghis Khan. I mean, I don't know. You got leaders, okay? I mean, look in your history book. So those were alphas of their civilizations. Now, mind you, alphas did not build civilizations. I don't believe that. I believe that these leaders took the blueprints of the civilization that they grew up into, and they rose up in, they had a rise in that civilization to where they were hailed as the king or the leader. And they basically became one to lead that civilization. But did they build that civilization? No, not from my perspective. Now, see, they maintained civilizations that were built. Okay, so yeah, they got rulership passed down to them, and they, now they maintain, they order, they add, a sense of guidance or dictatorship to that civilization that was built before them, literally. To me, it took a mastermind to build civilizations. Who was the mastermind? To me, angels were the mastermind. The earlier ancestors of enigmatic people that we know about today, these mystery people, these angels, okay? Angels built ancient civilizations. Look this up. Why do you think we got so many unsolved mysteries through a lot of the hieroglyphs and the artifacts? Okay, we try to dig up stuff and all these mysteries. We got these giant mounds and monuments and precise locations of buildings and Nazca lines and things in nature like the fifth wonders of the world that we know no human could do. Okay, so it took something probably beyond human to build these civilizations, these masterminds, these enigmatic people that we only see a remnant of today. See, these were angels back then, and we just know them now as enigmatic people. So these enigmatic people we know now, to me, just only have a fraction of the angelic ingenuity that took place back in those days. I mean, we talk a lot about how demons are in this world now as we speak, right? We talk about this. We talk about how people sell their soul and, I don't know, drink blood, eat people. I don't know. We talk about all this now. So if we talk about how demons are in this world, how come we can't talk about how angels are in this world? Now, I'm not going to get super spiritual on y'all, but I'm just tying this all in and letting y'all know that a lot of people don't really know what they talk about when they really want to get on this whole solitary tip. You know what I'm saying? Um, but here, check me out even more. Okay. Uh, these angels taught us technology. They are the true masterminds. Now you have you also have fallen angels. You have that too. Okay. There's been many accounts of how the Jezebels learned how to put on makeup. They were taught by angels, fallen angels. This thing with fashion and music. Lucifer, what was he? He was the angel of music. We learned music through the angelics. Okay. Do I need to go on? Do I need to continue? Okay. Brown Do Life said all kinds of people built the pyramids. Well, it depends on what type of people you're talking about, Brown Do Life. You remember how much each stone weighs? Each stone, I think, weighed about, I think, like 1,000 tons or something. It was a huge weight for that stone. Not enough for primitive humans to carry just with sticks and mortar and wheeled buggies. Those stones were way too heavy for an army of humans to carry. And just think about the manpower, the sheer manpower it would take just to haul one of those stones of the pyramid. There's no way that those things were built by humans alone. Even if there was millions of it, to me, that's millions of manpower. And of course, there's this fable of, well, there were a lot of slaves. Well, you got a kingdom, you got to spread your slaves around. You getting all of them to die just to build one pyramid, it does you no good. So to me, it took an out of world type of strength to put these pyramids together. And not just in Egypt, even in South America. Here's some FYI for y'all. There are actually more pyramids in South America than there are in Egypt. Look it up. Don't take my word for it. Let me see what else everybody got to say. Yep, exactly. I am sweets. There were a lot of fallen angels. And I'm going to tell you this, I am sweet. What is the definition of a demon? A demon is a fallen angel. Booyah. So you think about wolves, bears, tigers, pumas, and other solitary animals and insects that are solitary like that. They all represent the angelic. Why do I say this? Why do I say this? Because one angel can slay many demons, let alone slay millions of humans. That angel doesn't have to do much. They say, like, as it's written, like some angels have the voices of thunder. Now, you may know somebody who may not necessarily have a voice of thunder right now, but they do have a thundering voice. There probably is only a few people you know in your life that you can say have a voice that is like thunder, like their voice is thundering, like, yo, you like talk loud. I know you don't even be trying to talk loud, but it's something about their voice that makes them very angelic. Okay. And now see, this type of person, they can slay many demons, let alone many humans. And socially, one angel can speak for a multitude of people, and they can feel a multitude of emotions. Yes, an empath. An empath is nothing more than an angel. We just labeled, once again, we talk about labels. Okay, this idea of being an empath. To me, an empath is just really an angel. Every human has a capacity of being empathic. Okay, that's why you get the word empathy. Okay, but there are some people who have empathy on a higher level. This is someone that is of the angelic. You say for higher, it's possible for other species or enigmas to exist, basically. Yeah, I mean, and we talk about that. You hear on some of these spiritual channels, we talk about the indigo children or someone that's an indigo. Okay, we talk about these things. So it's out there. People that got like blue bloods. even though technically your blood is actually blue before it gets oxidized. Then it turns red upon reaching the surface and feeling oxygen. That's a little FYI. But there are people with rare blood types to where even if they've had diseases, they can contain these diseases. They don't spread these diseases. They kind of self-heal. You know, you got people who aren't contagious because they know how to contain different diseases and infections. Look it up. There was I think some lady, I don't know if she was a slave here in the United States at one point, but they considered her like an immortal. She had certain blood and a certain DNA that some of the oppressors, they wanted a hold of. They wanted to trap her in jail because the sick and wicked eugenics people at the time, yes, these eugenics people wanted her DNA because they wanted to have her superior genetics. Eugenics to me represents you talking about superiority, but yet you're looking for superiority. I think that's a double standard, but that's my opinion. Okay. But see, this the thing. Like when they talk about this idea of what the lone wolf and the wolf represents the angelic. The wolf doesn't represent the furled. Therefore, the wolf does not represent the sigma. Okay, and wolf is separate from dogs, from all that, even from other solitary creatures. Think about it this way, y'all. It usually you can kind of have you can have a habitat. You can have a habitat without bears. You can have a habitat without tigers, lions, or pumas. However, you cannot really have a habitat without wolves. Wolves are considered the apex of the apex predators for a reason. Kind of like how angels on this earth would represent the apex of humanity. Yes, I said the apex of humanity. Because as it is written, humans were supposed to be one step above the angels as it is written. But given the way this world has fallen, there's only so many humans that are one step above the angels. So in essence, I think like this idea of someone that is enigmatic represents the closest thing to an angel. That's why I say angelic. I didn't necessarily say angels. I said angelic. So someone that's enigmatic is very angelic. Okay. Let me see. Brown Do Life said angels equals empaths. Bingo. The enigma, not the sigma. Nicola J said, I think in the Bible, an angel you can easily mistake for a demon. They look frightening. Yeah, I guess you could mistake them for that because of their presence. And some of them, a lot of them are in human form. You just don't know it. You could be around an angel and you not even know it, or you're around an enigmatic person and you not even know it. A lot of us don't know it because that's how it was supposed to be. That's how it was supposed to be. Cortez Smith said, yes, levels to empathy. Facts. Definitely different levels. Like Meek Mill said, there's different levels to this. Yes. For Hire said, is that why they say good people are rare? That's exactly why they say good people are rare. For Hire. That's a very, yep, that's a good question. Yep. That's exactly why they say that. You know, because the INFJ, for example, the INFJ personality, the rarest personality on the planet, is representative of someone that's angelic. Because you think about everything that represents the INFJ. We ain't talking about the INTJ. I said the INFJ. Okay, everything about the INFJ personality type, it represents someone that's angelic. You mean that you got a person that they just do things and say things and act in such ways that most people normally would never think of, especially these different levels of empathy that Cortez Smith just talked about. Most people could care less about that stuff. They just trying to get on with their life. They trying to move on with their life. Folk ain't trying to feel nobody. They be like, I feel you. No. The enigmatic person, aka the INFJ, aka the good rare person that For Hire brought up, that's the one that really feels you. You know what I'm saying? When they say I feel you, they feel you. Real talk. So yes, the realm of an enigma has deeper chambers, has deeper. Oh man, it's just deeper. It's deeper. Okay, it's whew, it's on a different realm. than those who claim they are Sigma, and they try to attach this idea to lone wolf to being Sigma. They don't know what they're talking about. If you hear anybody tell you anything different than what I said, they don't know what they're talking about. But yet it's the popular opinion as you hear. Sigma is lone wolf. Sigma is lone wolf. That's all you hear, the popular opinion. Yet they know nothing about a lone wolf, yet they know nothing about even their own idea of what Sigma is. They don't know. But yours truly knows, and I have the unpopular opinion, and that's cool. I could dig it. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what you said for hire. Two of my friends were one. They were rare indeed. Hey, I can only imagine. That's what's up. Um, but yeah, ironically, I've talked to, like I said earlier, yeah, I remember talking to Slayer Sigma and how, you know, this idea of attaching lone wolf to Sigma was something that he didn't necessarily agree with. And I agree with him. You know, I don't think you should attach lone wolf to Sigma either. You know, like I be saying, lone wolf and Sigma are not the same. Ironically, I've noticed those who claim they were lone wolf not displaying lone wolf behavior. Once again, lone wolves are enigmatic. So a wolf in general, wolves in general have enigmatic behavior, enigmatic associated with being angelic. That person doesn't have an angelic behavior. Okay. Um, and I've talked about this before. You know, I've done this. I talked about this in the video before. But there was a guy that was stranded in the woods one time, y'all. He was stranded in the woods and it was cold. It was snowing really good that day. And he fell out. It was too cold. He could have died of hypothermia. Did y'all know that he woke up to a pack of wolves keeping him warm? Real talk. Um, y'all can look this stuff up. Don't take my word for it. Okay. But yeah, he woke up to a pack of wolves keeping him warm. I thought that was so amazing. Um, you got stories of wolves coming back to people that have rescued them. You know, uh, you had a wolf that was depressed. One second, y'all. All right, I'm back. Hey, what's good, DJ Moss? Good to see you back in the building. Uh, Fahaya said, do you think Nikola Tesla was a Sigma? I think he was, possibly. I guess it depends on the way he grew up. So I won't really give you my opinion on that. But however, I would say that in another vein, I think he was actually enigmatic, aka an enigma, not a Sigma, because his whole life was mysterious. To me, he's always been kind of like a gifted type of a person. So that's the other thing with someone that's enigmatic. They're very gifted. Okay. Um, so Black Ram also said, "Oh, Black Ram in the building. What's good, fam?" Uh, you said that's why I like the tiger as an example of Sigma, even though better is the jaguar or panther, true solitary creatures. Oh, yeah, I feel you. And so, yeah, shout out to Black Ram, you know, because I basically came up with the idea of an enigma versus a Sigma, given that people pretty much, a lot of betas have hijacked the original meaning of Sigma. Sigma was originally supposed to mean lone wolf in the way that, you know, it's about you being naturally solitary, like wolves and tigers, like Black Ram just mentioned, or panthers and mountain lions and jaguars. Okay, that's what Sigma was supposed to mean, and that's what, you know, obviously Black Ram still pushes. And so I guess I'm kind of on the more other end of the spectrum, still understanding where Black Ram is coming from, but you have a lot of betas who have hijacked the meaning of Sigma, and so they think you can become a Sigma. Okay, so they think you can become solitary and all that stuff. So I started saying, like, yo, beyond Sigma is someone that's enigmatic. Okay, and so this idea of the word enigma came up. Okay, but in essence, enigma, Sigma was supposed to be enigma. That's the way it was supposed to be. Even though, yeah, you got a lot of betas out here in denial using the word Sigma because they, you know, they become Sigma. So I'm like, well, those type of Sigmas, if you will, are, they're just feral, you know. Uh, Nicola J said, wolves are misunderstood. Yes, they are, Nicola J. a lot of the solitary creatures are misunderstood, especially tigers, like with what Black Ram represents. Man, yeah, tigers are very misunderstood. All of the solitary animals, but yeah, most definitely the wolves too. Very misunderstood creatures. You know, they don't understand how Creator has made animals as our instruments, as our tools. A lot of these animals are angels in disguise, in my opinion. You know, so an angel doesn't necessarily show up as a human, in my opinion. Angels can show up as animals too. I mean, we gotta like open our minds. Some angels could be in the form of plants. Did y'all know that plants actually talk to each other? Or if you talk to a plant and you talk to it in a good way, sometimes that plant can grow a little better in your house. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, researchers have done studies on plants, and they made it to where plants like to actually vibrate under a certain tune. Like there's actually a certain tune that all plants like to sing. Literally, they sing, and you can hear it. It's under the 432 hertz. And plants also live off a certain rhythm. Literally, like this is research. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. But there's like a certain beat that plants like to live from. So to me, this is all like an angelic way of trying to communicate to humanity how we're supposed to live. And so this is why, like, with the way the world is going and the downfall of this world becoming more Babylonian, it's just only a matter of time before peace and harmony must be restored, because the plants are talking to us every day, trying to tell us, look, everything is out of whack right now. You know what I'm saying? Everything is out of whack. Even the water's out of whack. But, you know, it's not really that the water's out of whack. People have affected the water. You know what I'm saying? Let me see what Black Ram said. Animals are also examples of human potential as well. Facts. Facts. You know, and like I said, it goes back to what I said earlier about how, you know, we didn't tame the wolf tamed us. You know, we learned a lot about our social habits. We learned a lot of it from wolves, in essence, as we modified with society. And yes, we started to bring dogs into the picture. A lot of our social behaviors changed, and we started to really be more like dogs. Some of us started to be more like cats. Literally, you know, a lot of us basically started to be more animalistic, if you will, instead of being angelic. Ooh, let me stop talking to y'all. But I ain't done talking to y'all. I'm just saying. Okay. But yeah, I also think it's a racial thing, and here's where I'm coming from with this. The Hebrew man, not the black man, is the true lone wolf, or the true Sigma type, based on what Black Ram has said, or based on what I'm saying as far as the lone wolf of someone that's enigmatic. Because if you think about it, you know, the Hebrew man, we're not talking about the black man, because I think, you know, once you find out your Hebrew heritage, literally, once you find out your Hebrew heritage, you separate yourself from the popular black culture, the popular black media. You don't think like a typical black man, brother. Notice I didn't say black man. You know, I'm calling you brother, because if you into this Hebrew mindset and you know your Hebrew heritage, you don't think and act like a black man. You think and act like a Hebrew man. So you look different. You start to dress different. You start to act different. You start to think different. And so that really puts you in this precarious position, similar to like a solitary creature. And even if you go to like different towns, like for example, I was in Dodge City, Kansas, y'all. I was way out there, right? And there was only one guy like me out there. Like I really felt like a rare species of creature out there. Everybody was looking at me, and they just saw my demeanor and the way I act, because they've probably had a few black men that they've seen before, but they've never seen nothing like me. They like, you're a rare kind of a guy. You act different. Like you don't even act like the black men that we have seen. I mean, it's one thing to see a black man, but it's another thing to see a man like you that we thought was black, but you just different. So it's like, you know, you would see someone from Africa, you might say they black, but they like, no, I don't act like that. What you talking about? We are different people, you know? So it's like that even here in the United States, I believe that we're seeing a shift in the identity of the melanated man here on these shores. And I believe It's about some men going back to their original heritage, which is Hebrew. Okay, when the explorers first came to these shores, guess what? They had a Hebrew interpreter. A lot of people don't know that, you know. So a lot of the so-called Native American tribes, a lot of them have a Hebrew language within their linguistics. There was some Hebrew within the linguistics of a majority of Native American tribes on these shores. Okay. Um, Now, see, here's this. So yeah, I see the Hebrew man ask the loner, ask the true Sigma based on what Black Rem has said, or based on what I'm saying, someone that's enigmatic. Okay. Uh, but yeah, a stray dog cannot become a lone wolf, nor a stray wolf can become a lone wolf. You know, only if that stray wolf still has a lot of wolf in him and he wants to get back to a pack. But you also have wolves that haven't known of being around other wolves. So he's just a stray wolf or a rogue wolf, as I said earlier. By nature, wolves are dispersing creatures. Every wolf pack, hey, check this out, y'all. Every wolf pack was started by a lone wolf. I mean, every wolf pack was started by a lone wolf. And so I talked about this other point that I'm gonna bring up. It was from the previous live stream that got bad glitches. But you know, some people like to say the lone wolf is the exception to the rule. But the thing is, being a lone wolf is part of wolf culture. There's no exception to that, you know. So it's not that there's really a lone wolf. Wolves are loners. No different than tigers, no different than bears, no different than mountain lions. Wolves are loners. It's just that some wolves come together like the gray wolf to make a pack. Now, those this one lone wolf, it was number 302. And he's been documented. He was one of the largest wolves to ever come out of Yellowstone. You know, he proved very important as far as sustaining a wolf pack, even though he's used to being by himself, doing his own thing, you know. But without his guidance and his outreach to the infamous Druid wolf pack, that pack would have not survived. Lone wolves like Wolf 302 are very important to the survival of wolf culture and the wolf species, even genetically speaking, especially genetically speaking, because the way that particular wolf was able to survive on his own gets passed down to his offspring. This makes wolves even more dispersed. It makes them more similar to the way Wolf 302 thinks. And it just basically makes more of like what I would call a hyper wolf. So I'd say in the human paradigm, with what Black Ram, I know that you talk about your channel, a lot of things about your mindset, you know, it may be my type of mindset, you know, if there's a guy like us out there, we don't have offsprings to pass off this mindset to. A lot of us, unfortunately, won't run into real women that we can work on building an offspring with because of this society. So it's cool to see that, like in the wild, though, you have an exceptional wolf that was able to help many packs survive on his own, you know, in many ways. It's a beautiful thing. So despite like the solitary mindset, you know, you still need to pass that down to the next generation. But a lot of times with Hebrew men, we don't have Hebrew women that we can run into to work on this offspring. So this is a deeper rabbit hole, but I won't take it that far. But at my channel, I try my best to just be encouragement to a lot of prospective women that do want to get right. You know what I'm saying? So for the ladies that do want to try to grasp a lot of what I'm saying, and guys like me that talk a certain way, like much love to y'all, you know what I'm saying, for even stopping by, especially here at my channel, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to brag, but you know, I feel like I come off as very unique with what I'm saying. So even for like the ladies that stop by here and you actually get what I'm talking about, much love, because the majority of females that aren't trying to be women, they ain't trying to get anything I got to say, let alone what any other man has to say. They don't want to hear all that. They want a beta. You know, they want a beta to remain a beta. They don't want a beta to become greater. Real talk. Now, I I think just to talk a little more on this wolf here, uh, the way this works, you usually when you got wolves that become more dispersing, more akin to what a wolf needs to be, solitary by nature. Uh, the way this works is that when a young pup is able to leave on his own, he finds a female to pair up with to start their own pack. And then from there, that pack and offspring must be identical um, to that original wolf. And then, the cycle is repeated. So you just basically, you're perfecting the breed. You're making your livelihood and your survival even better. So this has been lost, not only amongst the black community, but even amongst the Hebrew community. Now you see Hebrews trying to put this together, but you have so many separate Hebrew camps. So that's still a problem. So you have folk, to me, who are still not angelic with things. You know what I'm saying? You got folk who are what? More demonic with things, more satanic with things. Do we not see this? We see this every day. We see a lot of succubuses and a lot of incubuses every single day. Most folk don't want to be like an angel. Most folks want to be like a demon. Real talk. And this ties all in with the Sigma identity crisis because to me, most people who take on this idea of being Sigma, a lot of folk are very demonic. They ain't trying to be angelic. Most folk just trying to do their own, and that a lot of folk just don't have this in mind to try to strive for better and to be holier and to even be concerned about the environment. But that's what feral animals do. Feral animals don't care about the environment. Feral animals just care about, just trying to make it on their own without being thoughtful about it like a true solitary creature does. Okay. Because it's not in them naturally and it's not in them spiritually. So that takes away this idea of anything angelic. Okay. Yeah, but I was thinking like this all debunks a lot of ideas that the lone wolf was kicked out of the pack because the alpha male in that pack doing so. Like I told y'all before, there's no such thing as an alpha male in a wolf pack. There's no alpha wolf in the pack. If anything, the lone wolf was told by his own father, not an alpha male wolf, but actually his own father, you got to be your own type of wolf now. You got to be your own type of man now. You ain't a pup no more. You're a wolf. You need to go out and be a wolf. Other times, as in wolf, like other times, as in the lone wolf number 302's case, your little brother might not need you anymore. Because, sometimes a lone wolf, he might not be by himself. He might have another wolf, his brother. They both left their pack together when they were pups, but they work on a pack by themselves. But, you might have your brother who, y'all, brothers fight all the time, sometimes. Thankfully, I don't fight my own little brother, but sometimes brothers just fight all the time. And you're like, well, I mean, I need to get away from you. So that happens sometimes too with the lone wolf. He can't be around his brother no more. Let his brother do his own thing with his own pack. So it's just now that, you just realize your brother, he can make it on his own. He don't need your help. So the same thing goes with the life of a lone wolf. And some lone wolves just remain going from pack to pack. Some really live that lone life, but wolves are loners. So don't get it twisted. Some wolves come together to make a pack, to raise up pups, as in the case of the gray wolf. But yeah, I'll be going back and forth with human and animal logic here just to keep y'all ears tuned in. I have a few more things I'm gonna go over here. I think I still got a little more, but yeah, I appreciate everybody stopping by. I didn't think this live was gonna go this long, so yeah, I appreciate everybody stopping by for sure. But yeah, the closest individuals in human form that I think behave like wolves are enigmatic individuals. Everyone else that chooses to be solitary at one point and going forward in their life thinks from a feral animal's perspective. So like I said originally, Sigma was supposed to represent what enigmatic is, but at this point, it's been hijacked by a lot of betas. So, people who are truly into their solitude or solitary mindset, they want to separate themselves from the majority, or they'll stand firm on what they know is true, like with what Black Ram is doing with Sigma. Me, I just chose to kind of separate and develop something totally new altogether. But either way, there's no bad way. You know, either way it's good as long as it's detracting from all the beta attention right now. Okay. But but yeah, but those who choose to at one point to make it on their own, that's being a furrow, because you weren't like this from the jump. You weren't like this from necessarily day one or when you were very young, and I mean very, very young. We talking about like 5 years old, 3 years old. There was something different about you. We ain't talking about when you're like 12 or 15 years old and you just decided to be by yourself because you was bullied when you was a kid. We ain't talking about that. That's not what we're talking about. That's furrow, okay? That we ain't talking about that. Now, enigmatic individuals often use the title lone wolf because truly no one thinks like them, nor behaves and senses things like them. Or they'll say solitary, or they'll say Sigma in the way that Black Ram says Sigma, you know, but they feel like no one really behaves like them or thinks like them or senses things like them. Others who now all of a sudden claim that they're a lone wolf or Sigma, or just individuals who experience rejection, or they decided to escape from society, no different than a feral animal that escapes or is rejected from a household. No different. In some ways, you know, I don't know if some of y'all like bison. I like bison as a food. You know, it's a lean alternative to red meat, you know, to beef. But I like my Wagyu beef too. But that's on the side note. We ain't gonna be talking about no culinary. But I want y'all to think about this whole bison thing. Check it out. Check this out. But hold on one second. Fahaya said, and things go bad when you try to be something you aren't. A beta can't be alpha and vice versa. Well, yeah, and I heard what you're saying, Fahaya. Like, there's a way a beta should go about becoming an alpha. That's the thing. You got people that want to jump ship, but yet they're not truly made for the spot, or it is not their time, if you will, you know, or they haven't done enough to show that they can be greater than a beta. And we see a lot of that going on right now. Hence, this whole idea of betas in denial. This idea of being betas in denial is a deep rabbit hole. There's nothing wrong with being a beta, but there is a problem with being a beta in denial. Okay, and then Black Ram, you said since the beta is so necessary, we have to have the conversation on if beta is actually bad. The catfish eats excrement. Nasty, but necessary. Exactly. There's a role and a place for everybody in a process. I think that's what people don't understand. They don't understand that there are processes, and there's nothing wrong with going through a process, even if for some people that process is beta. You know what I'm saying? And there's times, you know, you might end up in a beta-fied situation, as I like to call it. And I see myself not exempt from that. Okay. I've had to be in beta-fied situations. However, I understood the process, and I also understood if someone before me wasn't doing their job, I'll be like, give Jesus the wheel, or give yours truly the wheel. I need to have you sit in the passenger seat, sir. I'm gonna show you how to really whip this thing around. Okay. But yeah, in some ways, I consider bison the lone wolves of the bovine world. You know, bovine means cattle or just hooved animal, for those who didn't know that. You know, I think animals with split hooves, those are bovine. So there's a lot of bovine. That also includes goat, since some people like to use the term goat. Yes, goat is considered a form of a bovine. But yeah, I consider bison the lone wolves of the bovine world, because every bison is individualistic. Like, if y'all haven't been around cows, and you know, I've been out in the country, you know what I'm saying? So cows mostly, you know, one cow thinks just like the other cow, from what I've noticed. But when you get around bison, every bison has its own personality. One bison does not think like the other bison. You know, if they all start running at the same time, it's usually because they've been communicating with each other to run at the same time. It's not really because they saw one person run and they decided to follow the other person. No, every bison has its own personality. That's what's so unique about bison. And that's why if you were to eat bison, once again, going back to eating bison, every bison is not the same. You can't really farm bison. You have to raise bison, which that's ironically what makes Wagyu beef so expensive, because Wagyu beef is formed just like a bison is formed, you know, just to try to bring out this what unique quality, this individualistic quality. Okay. So but yeah, a lot of bisons are similar. Like a lot of them are actually solitary, you know. Um, Even though they live amongst each other as a herd, each bison actually can survive well on its own. They are considered the largest mammal in North America because sometimes it's even difficult, ironically, for a wolf pack to take down a single bison, whether a male or a female. Each bison weighs a ton, y'all, and it runs faster than a horse. Keep that in mind. But likewise, you know, a moose is solitary too. An elk is also solitary, you know. Um, but yeah, side note with stallion, you know, we've been hearing about this stallion lately. Hint, hint, but we ain't gonna go there. But yeah, that's another video. The stallion. But yeah, the actual stallions in the wild, you know, the stallion is a male horse. So I'm gonna just put that out there. No, not shooting at nobody. You know, I'm just saying a stallion is a male horse. But actually, the stallion spends most of his days away from the herd. The stallion only comes by for mating and for fighting other males. So the male horses that you do see in the herds, those are the adolescent horses. But the real buck, the real stallion, he's away from the herd. Okay, the stallion is actually away from the herd, and he only comes back when it's time to fight, when it's time to mate. So actually, a male stallion, I said a male stallion. That's kind of an oxymoron, but yeah, the stallion, he's solitary too. You know. Let me see this. Okay, yeah, Cortez Smith's talking to Black Ram. Okay, I'll let that be between you and him. Okay, that's what's up. Let me see. Another side note. Okay. I was gonna say with all that said, y'all. With all that said, and this is kind of like some of my final talking points, because I think like with me and Black Ram when we had our discussions, the only glitches that we really had really were mainly was you know, Black Ram was just stating that he's not talking about your favorite YouTuber. And I feel you. You know, there's a lot of people that talk about being alpha. Okay, that's fine. But we're not talking about those guys. We're just talking about the concept and the actual terminology for alpha, not one's opinion, not one's own idea of what alpha is. We were talking about definitions. And so that was really like some of the main glitches. But at the same time, there was enough in that previous live streams to where you could still hear like me and Black Ram break down this idea of alpha, sigma, and then the whole wolf aspect of things, you know what I'm saying? Just, you know, but yeah, for those who haven't checked that live stream out, just look in my playlist live streams from yours truly. And you'll see it there, me and Black Ram. It's got some glitches, but it's good. It's good nevertheless. But I've been keeping it up for Black Ram, like I said, so he can break down some of this and add pieces of it to his Patreon. You know what I'm saying? But with that said, like the last thing I want to say is like lone wolf is just like a term. You know, it really is. It's just like a term. It's not really like I said that the lone wolf by itself is like a lone wolf. No, wolves are loners. They're solitary by nature. So it's not like this idea that the lone wolf is solitary by nature. No, wolves are solitary by nature. They just come together to breed. And for some, like the gray wolves, they come together to breed and to build a pack, to raise up a lineage of pups. There have been many times where the entire pack will go a separate way. There have been many documents of this happening. And then, you know, for the most part, like most of the time when the wolf is with the packs, like with the gray wolf, he's actually like, they you know, like us, like, you know, you go to the store by yourself, you know, you want to get something to eat, you go by yourself. So sometimes like those gray wolves, sometimes he goes away from the pack to eat by himself. Sometimes, you know, he tries to stay close and not be too far away. So one of the reasons why you might hear them howl is just so that they let each other know that they're not far away. You know, like they're howling, it's like their cell phone. Real talk. So but yeah, there have been many accounts of packs of wolves eventually going their separate ways because wolves are naturally dispersive, even the gray wolf that forms a pack. You know, the term lone wolf applies though um, for every solitary creature that an individual can relate to, though. So, but I say beyond this now, you don't have to just necessarily say you're a lone wolf to identify with Sigma from the vein that Black Ram speaks on, or from the vein that I speak of in regards to being enigmatic or an enigma. You can now say tiger. You can now say bear, puma. You can say what, a moose or elk, you know, anything that's solitary, insect, whatever, anything that you can relate to, because nature is here to teach us. Okay, nature is here to teach us. But it's this though, it's this, and I want y'all to know this. It's only a few individuals on this world that are solitary by nature. Only a few people in this world really are, because we are social people. You know, humans are social people. We're social life forms. We are very social. So there's only a few people that can relate to this idea of being solitary by nature and being by yourself, being seen as weird and kind of off and awkward and different. You know what I'm saying? Only a few people can relate to this. You know, most people were not outliers, as Black Ram said. Most people are not necessarily outliers. Most people are actually outcast. You know, most people were not set apart or labeled as distinct when they were younger. You know, most people can't relate to that. So yes, only a few people can relate to this idea of being solitary by nature, not by nurture. Now, because those people, everyone else that is possibly solitary by nurture, yeah, those that are solitary by nurture, you're no different than the feral animals, because feral animals, they became solitary too. But hopefully this live made sense to some. Maybe this live did not make sense to others, but to the others that this live made sense to, feel free to hit that like button, especially those listening to this on the replay. And if this is your first time coming to my channel and you like my content, I got a lot more in store. So feel free to subscribe, share this live, as well as my other content. I got a playlist, an extensive playlist by now. Go into my playlist. I talk about a lot of different things. Check that out. You ever want to reach me? Go to my About section. I got all my information there. Different platforms. You ever want to tip yours truly? I got that information there too. Make sure that you hit the notification bell so that you get all of my uploads in real time. And for all those actually that have been subscribed to my channel, make sure that y'all check out my other channels in the About section. Go and subscribe to those other channels. I'd appreciate that. You know, that way I could kind of get those channels up and running, because I be trying to grow my other channels too. But much love to y'all. And as I said earlier, I might do a second live stream tonight. I might. It just depends on how busy I get. If I get too busy, I'm going to do my follow-up live tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, given the date of this live stream. If I'm not too busy tonight, then yeah, catch me around 10 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time to do the follow-up live stream to what I talked about yesterday. Man, and if you have not checked out that previous live stream, go on my playlist titled Live Streams from Yours Truly. And it was my most recent live stream titled A Prototype Woman. I think you'll like that. For those who did not get a chance to stop by yesterday to check that live stream out, I think you'll like that live stream. But no matter what it looks like out there, y'all, it's only going to get better from here. I appreciate everybody for stopping by, and hopefully I'll see y'all tonight. Otherwise, you're definitely going to see me tomorrow, given the date of this live stream. And until next time, signing out, much love.